What's going on, everybody? It's Q5. I'm here with Matt Wallace, the owner of Prince Inc., as well as some very talented artists from the 757 area. This is the first edition of Aesthetics. Here we are. Guys, tell us who you are. We're just going to go around.
My name is Matt Wallace. I run Prince Inc. It's a print shop, and we're also a boutique. We have products that we've created, and we do a lot of services for our other clients, and we've been printing professionally since 2009. Anything from t-shirts to posters to pillows to wood, stone, glass, food, anything like that. Now you can find us online at Prince Inc. Co. PRINCEINK Co. That's us.
Hey, I'm Perla Woods. I'm also a visual artist. I do photography, graphic design, video directing, and creative directing. And I also paint, and I do lots of other things. Among everything, I'm also an entrepreneur. And you can find me at perlawoods.com and also follow me on Instagram at perlawoods. It's PERLA too.
Hi, I'm Meta Bastet. I don't know. Ask me something. I don't know what to say.
What do you do?
Who are you?
Tell us what you do.
I'm awkward on camera. That's what I do best.
Usually behind the camera, right?
Yes. I'm a story producer for PBS. I'm a content creator with Who's Trying to be Creative as well. Yeah, that's all I got. I'm sorry.
That is all right.
That's all.
Name's Ray Johnson. I'm a visual artist. I'm a painter. That's really it. I don't do what these other guys do. Getting ready to have my second solo exhibit at the Down and Gross, so that's all I got going on. Yeah.
All right. It's very cool to get all y'all in the same room. First of all, it's always something you could tell about an artist that they're artists that can give it away. Like if it's the clothes or just the demeanor, it's always something really chill about an artist. All y'all talk really smooth and casual, like, hey, I'm just chilling, I'm here. So we just want to talk aesthetics today, like a couple things about the art scene. So do you guys feel like there's an influx of art events happening in the 757 right now?
I think there needs to be better thought on, what's the overall plan to have these events and not just, trying to take somebody's money, like, how are we growing, how are we trying to accomplish something, I guess, to make it a culture, not just something to do on a Friday night.
Very true, very true. I think one of the things too is one, even finding the spaces to be able to do something like that. You know what I mean? Before we can even get to throwing an event, it's like, we have to find spaces where we can even have them, let alone, the planning and things that go into that. You being a business owner, like, and a space owner, like, anything you can contribute to that, or like, have you seen any events going downtown that might not be city spots? I know, like, a lot of stuff that's sponsored by the city of Norfolk, of course, they get placement, but like, for people like us that are in here right now, that you know what I mean? Like, do you see it?
I can't speak specifically to that. I can say I agree there's not enough going on, but I think that there is progress being made. If you look at the area 5 years ago, like there wasn't any, like there were murals on the walls. There's a couple galleries that popped up that didn't end up hanging around, but galleries keep popping up, which is good. And then I think that there is a lot of talent. Whether or not they're getting highlighted, that's to be said, but I think that there is a lot of talent, and I think what the area probably lacks is organization, and that if enough people that are working on the same cool stuff get together, collaborate, which I guess is what we're here for, but with everybody working together can make something that's a bigger impact and have farther reaching like outlets, and I think there's potential to make something that's dope. As far as like city-sponsored events, I don't know. I think that like they are doing like commissions for like murals. I think that Hampton was doing that, which is new for Hampton. Like they're not doing, for the longest time, they weren't doing anything. But there's more things that are happening, and I think there's a lot. Like it just takes momentum. Like it takes time of like building and like stacking stuff on top of stuff, and then you have an art scene like what I consider Richmond has. But there's a lot of dope people around here of varying styles and backgrounds. I think it could be turn into something that's bigger. I think as far as Hampton Roads goes, like this area has culture that it's scattered about, but I think like it could all be consolidated and make some dope area that people come to this corner of Virginia to experience some stuff.
Yeah, I would like to piggyback off of that, because that's what I find. It's like, I do feel there is a lot of things going on, but it does seem like they're in their own little pockets. So how can we be better at maybe, I don't know, maybe just cross-promoting each other? Because one thing I did notice with Richmond, like, everybody just kind of, I'll see everyone at everyone's events, and they're always like pushing everyone's events. And I'm not saying that nobody here does that, but it just, how, as creatives, how can we do better at promoting ourselves and then the whole cross-promotion? We're still keeping our same, I guess, authentic style, like our feel for our events, but not having it feel like it's so like, well, that's at Charlie's American Calf, only particular group go there, or that's Cypher, which I know is for everybody, but you know, just that particular group goes there. I think we sometimes still kind of self-segregate ourselves, even though we don't make it to be intentional. So, like, what can we do so that we all feel like, oh, this is for everybody?
Yeah, I mean, I think it takes like, I mean, essentially what you're saying is like you just need people to go out and support somebody else, that even though it's not what you're doing, maybe it's not your style, maybe you don't even like the person, doesn't matter. Like if you just go and you're in the art scene, that's what it takes to create an art scene and like support. I mean, like, that's what, it's different like when, like with what we do, it's a business. Like we get paid up front to do whatever we're gonna do for someone. However, there's times where like we will print a poster for an event because we like what it's about, or maybe we'll just hook an artist up because I see potential. And like, it's not the same as me going to an event, but it's opening up a door that might not have been there. And that's just what I have the ability to do pretty easily, whereas someone else, it might just be buying tickets to a show, or maybe it's buying a print, or just showing up, or telling somebody, or posting on their social media. I mean, little things like that, enough people doing that kind of stuff, it just builds up into something bigger. And it takes everybody doing what they can, and it's gonna come back. Like, say we don't do an art exhibit at all, but we support all these different artists, all these different vendors or creatives, but then we do an event, those people are probably gonna remember that we supported them and be more inclined to come out and support us when we're doing something. So all that kind of stuff just like snowballs and magnifies. I think that's what it takes to people doing stuff.
Definitely.
And I will say too, it has progressed a lot. Like if you think about it, 5 years ago, there was no art district, no art scene. Nobody was paying attention to it, but now it's just grown. Like I can even say within the past 2 years, it's grown excessively. So I do feel like it's just gonna keep growing, and it just, the biggest thing is for people to not focus on what's not being done and do focus on what actually is happening.
Yeah, definitely. You can see the growth and the correlation between the art and the music scene, because a lot of those are mashing up right now. Like people are doing events where there's performers, doing music, but also live art or art being displayed. But one of the questions and things you brought up, you talked about collaboration. How do you feel about collaboration, one, but really, how can we collaborate more to grow this scene, in your opinions?
I think like you have to maybe not start off with trying to put an event together, but actually, go back and collaborate, like being in the studio together. Like if I'm, like say for instance, Zach, Fortresses, I'm going over there and I'm painting while they're practicing, and we're intertwining ideas and just talking and growing a relationship. That way when you do a project together, whether it's I'm doing their CD cover or we're planning an event together, it feels like a real collaboration. Like, like these guys are in sync with each other, and that you know, that will cross over to how it's promoted, how it's, you know what I mean? When the people come in, it'll feel like a vibe, like this is real. Like this isn't just something thrown together. This is real. It's marinated, it's the right ingredients, everything, and it's dope. And then that, when, you know, I think if we all start doing that and really, you know, getting to know each other as artists, like really.
Gotta hang
you know
out
what I mean?
outside of the event.
Then it can really feel like something. And it'll go back to what she was saying, and not just doing that with the Cypher Group. I may can do that with you because we've been rocking out for years. Or is that, you know, maybe I need to, you know, learn some different musicians that are in the area. So I don't always say Zach or always say a certain person. So it's goes back to what we were talking about before, just going out and visiting some other artists I never even heard about, that just because they're in this area, I need to go support them, and then we can grow that collaboration.
We know the value in what the idea is.
Right.
They just, like other people who don't actually do it, they just feel like it's a good idea.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to do
A lot of
this.
people want to capitalize on it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, see, the
But
art
like,
scene is doing
even
it, but-
some people don't want to capitalize. They just feel like, you know, that's what they have to do.
Yeah.
But then it takes us to step in and like show them like what is really important in the process.
So we have a responsibility as gatekeepers.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, I can see that. And even when you were saying that, it's making the wheels turn. Of course, I think of putting on an event, but like to strip that down, like perhaps we really do need to have an event where artists just literally get together, and it might not be any painting, it might just be like an outing where there's music, and you know what I'm saying, we can socialize, and you know what I mean, get ideas thrown around. So that might be something we need to look into. But I like how, Ray, you said we have to bring it back to basics, you know what I'm saying, the organicness of it, like, yo, come to the crib, let's just hang out, you know what I mean?
That's how we started.
Yeah.
And then I think we branched off, you know, did other things. Some, you know, went and did stuff in Richmond, and you saw how other things back. But now we need to bring it back here. Everything that we learned during that process, okay, we need to bring it back and link up again. It's like, yo, this is what I went out and learned. And how do we grow it here? How do we bring everything, all our experiences back here?
Do you think people take their stuff from here and take other places and don't bring it back?
I think they do. I mean, I think they do, but if I'm not mad at that. I've left this area 3 times. You know, I'm not come back because I wanted to. Now, if I'm going to come back here, then it better be for a purpose. But if you do want to leave, I'm not going to knock that. You know,
you can't.
I know people. I know what you want to do, but if you're going to be here, be here. You know.
How necessary is it for people that are from here to grow the art scene as opposed to people that are not from here coming here and then seeing it and like participating?
That's bigger than art to me.
But I think looking at it that way is like, you shouldn't even look at it that way. Like, if you're gonna do something, just do it. Like, it doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter if you're from here. I feel like the thing to make anything last is a friendship. Being a friend to your art, being a friend to a collective. That's the only thing, that's the only way to make anything last, is to treat it as if it was a friend. Treat everything through friendship.
That changed my thinking.
Yeah,
I didn't think of it like that.
This changed me.
Yeah, like it did.
That really, like, that was something that I kind of like gone through like the past 2 weeks. Like, I just had this breakthrough. Like, something spoke to me, was like, make it last. How do I make something last? Is really being a friend, treating everything as I would my best friend, my sister who is my best friend, treating everything like that.
I can dig it because then you give it your best effort.
Authenticity.
You give it your best effort. You also know when to kind of like step back and take a break.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you have that real friend, sometimes you know what I mean? We don't talk every day, but when we talk, it's you fall right back into place. I could dig it. Again, still talking about the scene, like, is there a movement here? And if not, what aren't we doing to get it going?
There is a movement, and it's just growing. Like, it's just starting.
Yeah.
It's a spark right now. Last year, I feel like it was a spark. This year, I feel like it's just gonna climb and climb and climb and climb.
Yeah, I think that's what it takes. Like, I mean, you guys are complimenting us on our space, and I appreciate it. But this isn't something that just happened. Like, it's a bunch of tiny little things that we did over 5 years, and then a lot of you it's the first time you've seen it, and you're like, oh man, this is a big, nice space, all this stuff thought out. But none of this just happened quickly. Like it was all, I mean, I got this couch one place, I found this chair somewhere else. We printed these posters over a span of 5 years. Like it's a bunch of different things that all took place over time, but then held it in one area, and it seems like it's one big thing that's happened. Using that as like an analogy for the art scene.
Great analogy, by the way.
There's a lot of people making dope stuff, and you just showcase it all. And I think of what it takes is like people, like you said, I mean, just do stuff. Like there's no reason to wait for anything. Like maybe there's, like I think people leave here artistically maybe because they don't feel like there's opportunities. So maybe you're not a painter, maybe you're not a musician, maybe you don't do video, maybe you don't have like that creative side, but you have the ability to create opportunities. Maybe you just have a blank wall, then create an opportunity, a mural. Like that's a bunch of little things like that happening. I mean, like the arts district that's like 2 blocks over was a bunch of business owners that were like, yeah, you can paint on our wall. And now it's a very colorful couple of blocks, and it's just stuff that took place over a couple of years. And that kind of stuff, it just snowballs and builds into something that seems like, I mean, an art community. Like, you feel it like when you go to Richmond, or if you go to New York, or you go to LA, like one of the bigger spots. Like, you feel it as soon as you walk in there. And I think that this area could be that, because there's a lot of people that are doing stuff and then creating things, but if like, you stay in your room creating it, your room could be super dope, but no one else sees that. So put it out somewhere else. I mean, like, I'm sure how I am, like, I don't like doing the same thing over and over again, so like we have a lot of shirts out here, but I don't want to just keep printing the same shirts over and over. I want to create something new, but still, the stuff that's old to me, I'm still putting it out, and it's new to somebody else. Do that, and you have a wealth of things, whether it be shirts or music or video, anything like that. I think that's what it takes, is a lot of people doing things.
Expression.
Yeah.
And to get what you were saying about the scene here, like I moved down here 2010, like I think when the scene was starting to grow. So I'm originally from Goochwood County, near Richmond. And my experience with growing up in Richmond, going to school there, I'm making trouble for saying this, but I found that it was very cliquish, the art scene there. But since I've been going there more, I've been seeing that the more camaraderie. And one thing that I noticed immediately when I moved down here, like one of the first people I met was Justice Ceasoning, at it was like a art chalking event to raise money for Ronald McDonald House. And I was just out there with my camera, and he was like, oh, what do you do? I'm like, oh, PBS, whatever. He was like, oh, well, you should just, just come and, see, we're doing it all daily, maybe I can help you out. I'm like, who is this?
Yeah.
Because I'd never, even when I was in Richmond at the time, same conversation I have with someone who like, oh, well, good luck with that.
Yeah.
But one thing I did find here was like everybody was just so like, oh, hey, well, I know this person, I know that person. And within like a year or so, I was surrounded by like this great community of creators, and I didn't really feel the same ego I felt when I moved down here. And then being able to see with, what was the artification of Zed's, when the auction house was there, and just, it was just beautiful seeing how the arts district just kind of blossomed. And then being introduced to the open mics, like the last Tuesdays, and then I know you started Cypher, like it was like this whole, I have a lad in my head right now, this whole new world, for real though. Honestly, it was like, it was just, everyone was just so open and welcome, and this is one thing that I really loved about this area and the scene here in this area. So like I definitely feel like there's a scene here, and it's like blossoming, but like you were talking about with having the house parties and things of that nature, like that's just the feel that so far everybody that I've encountered here has, where they're just really open, and they genuinely want to help you out, and they really are trying to do it for the culture, for real, treating everybody like it is a friend, treating art like it is a friend, and not just like a trend. So.
I think everybody around here wants the same thing.
Yeah.
Like they want to see something happen, and no one really knows the answer. I mean, like it's just doing things. But I've talked to like people in the city. I've talked to other business owners. I mean, artists that I come in contact with all the time. Everybody is saying the same thing. Everybody wants something to happen, and it's something that just takes time and people doing stuff. So I mean, that makes sense that people are encouraging because everybody wants to see people do dope stuff.
There is a great bowl of energy around here, you know. We all just gotta keep spitting it out, spitting out the positivity, and just keep on focusing on that.
True. And the lack of ego, like you were saying, like, and there was, I can't speak to this, I don't know, but
It's just my personal experience living in Richmond, going to school there. Just that is what I experienced when I was there. But since I started going back there, it has changed a lot. Like
That's
especially
good.
with the Richmond mural project,
Mhm.
like that really like. I was just like, what? They have these on these buildings? And I remember going to having to film city council meetings, and they would get so mad if someone didn't like use like the same slate on the building. Like it was just so like, they were just very like,
That's old people.
yeah. So yeah, so to go back, you know, I was like, man, 2004, 8, somewhere around there when I was in school, and then to go back. Like 2013, 14, and I'm seeing all these murals out there, like very progressive things, like a woman in a jar.
Yeah, that's my favorite one.
It's gorgeous. It's
Yeah.
just like mind-blowing to me, and it just speaks to the power of creativity
Yeah.
and authentic moves, if you will.
Mhm.
People respond to that, and just the rejuvenating qualities of art everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Expressing.
Do you think that how much of it is us having to, you know what I'm saying, put out the work, and how much of it is we need the city to get behind us? Or does
It's
one not need the other?
All of that.
It's all together?
of that.
Yeah.
I think it might be more on us to do it because, I mean, what is the city just gonna see it out of thin air? Like, we have to be able to push it to where that they really see it.
We're showing that, you know, you have it here. You don't have to go outside to, you know, I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking. That's how I think. So, you know, it's like, you know, if somebody owns something, they can do whatever they want. So I gotta prove that I'm deserving. You know what I mean? So it's on me to put in that work and show you. And that's really all I can do. You know, I can present it to you. You gotta say yeah. But if I know if I did what I had to do, put the time in, I got a good chance of them saying yeah, you know? So that's just the way I look at it.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely us getting the ball rolling, you know, us being the foundation, you know, when that starts moving, people are like, oh wait, what's going on?
Yeah.
You start paying attention, you know, let me, you know, hold my glass, let me, you know, stuff don't, you know. I definitely feel like it's on us, and us moving forward, us continuing to do us authentically.
Yeah.
I think if you're thinking about waiting for the city for anything, you're gonna be waiting a long time. Like, I mean, look at it this way, like, the city's not gonna just decide to make a sidewalk bigger, but if you have so many people walking on the sidewalk, they're overflowing into the street, they're gonna have to make the sidewalks bigger. So, think about that in a creative
Man,
standpoint.
man, with the analogies
Yeah.
today.
Like, the city isn't really known for being creative, and if there's like just an overwhelming population of people that are demanding it or doing it, like I'm more the type, not advocating breaking laws or anything like that, but I'm more the type that I will do it and then ask for forgiveness
Yeah,
versus
take that risk.
asking permission and waiting. Like just something that I dealt with as a business owner, our sign, which is, I think it looks good. I'm probably biased, but it's better than a lot of the signs that I've seen down the street. And so I went before city council and with all my paperwork and went before this board for them to approve if everything was good. And I thought I was good. They said, yeah, it's good. And then I didn't realize that there was like 3 other boards you had to go before, and you had to get all this other paperwork done. So I pulled the trigger on getting the sign made. And then I got the sign made, and it was shipped here and set in a crate on our floor for 3 months. And then the sign got approved. So had I waited for the city, I would have gotten a sign a year after I wanted to get a sign. So that's just a sign. Like, that's not anything crazy. Like, and like to tag on what you were saying, like if it's a mural project and instead of the city like contracting out, if they're putting out a call for applications and you know the mural project's coming, let's say they announced it like a year ago, and if you have been grinding and you've been putting together a portfolio and you've been doing work and you're not waiting for the city, you're doing your work regardless, and then it comes up and you say, I have all of this work, this is what I can do, versus saying, trust me, I can do this. I mean, you've got a year's worth of work behind you that they're gonna, I mean, it's a portfolio, you're more likely to get it. And you can apply that to a lot of things. So like, when it comes to waiting, I don't encourage it at all. I mean, it's the same thing as you're saying, just keep doing it, just keep doing stuff. And then, I mean, opportunities are gonna present themselves. The whole Neon District down here is an answer to like starving artists, like people wanting an outlet. And I mean, now they got like the plot, they got Glasswell Studio. What was it, 5 years ago? There were nothing but vacant buildings down there. There was nothing down there. And now it's all colorful. There's like life. They're building apartment complexes right in the middle of it. There's a lot of stuff happening. But if you waited for that to happen, we're sitting here 5, 6 years later, and it feels like it's just starting, but it started a while ago. It takes constantly doing. I think that's probably what I'm going to be saying a lot of.
Pros and cons of collaboration.
Cons.
Are there cons to collaboration?
I could say you have to know what I found that it's more beneficial for us to come up with our own ideas and present to each other rather than coming in a group setting.
I mean, it's smart. It's smart to do that, like, because you don't want to waste time. Like, and all talk and not doing stuff isn't helping anything. And it's easy to have ideas. Everybody's got ideas. The hard part is doing stuff. So, like, what I learned as a business owner, how to do it to stay in business, was we used to do everything I knew how to do. So, like, design logos, websites, I would contract out printing, screen printing, and I was working all the time and I wasn't making any money. Then I realized I'll just focus on one thing, get really good at it, so screen printing. So that's what we do. So I don't know anything about a mural project. Like, I can't help you out with that at all. But if we're just tossing around ideas, I'm like, we could probably tag screen printing in there somehow. Like, I'm the guy you need to talk to about doing that now. So if you just find that one thing and you like, that's what you do. Like, you don't have to be everything to everybody, but you find that one thing and that's what you're good at, then if you are tossing around ideas and you are bouncing ideas around, like maybe like the sandwich thing, maybe that's not what we do. Like, maybe we don't make sandwiches together, but like if you have an idea and I'm like, man, that'd be a dope shirt, then I can make that happen. So I guess it could go either way. Like, you could have people that maybe, like, there's certain people that I talk to only about one thing. Like, I know, like, you are my business mentor. Like, I'm gonna come to you with business problems. I'm not gonna talk to you about what color should I do on this shirt. Like, I'm not gonna do that. But there's also a couple of people that I have. I mean, like this right now. Like, I know that all of us are gonna get something out of it. Like, something. We're all kind of just tossing around ideas and thoughts. And
So the con would kind of be you. If you don't put your work in, and then if you don't learn, you know what I mean? Like you say, you go to one person, you know exactly what you do. Like, you're so focused on what you do, and then you may go to one person because you know exactly what they do. You've done your homework. You've done your own homework. You've done your homework on them, so you know who to collaborate with what. So the con in the collaboration might be, what you're bringing to the table. Because if you haven't done all that stuff,
you ain't solid.
then you ain't. What are you here for?
Yeah.
So it's like you got to do your own. You got to fit your own work in.
It's true.
Back to the sandwich.
Just keep building on the sandwich.
Because it's like, right now we're like a creative sandwich. if you will. Because like you said, you may not do murals, but you can print out posters to help promote. So you can be like the letters and stuff. So it's like everybody has like their thing to help make that sandwich.
Yeah.
Lettuce, man.
An awesome
That's right.
sandwich.
Lettuce is important, bro.
97% of water, something like that.
You know what I mean?
You know,
All
we need
work,
quinoa.
bro.
We need that.
Yeah.
That good protein, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so it's, I think sometimes, well, I could speak for myself, when it does come to collaborating, if someone does have like a particular idea and I feel like, oh, I'm not good at that, so I can't help. But remembering to find, you know, maybe I can just hold the light or whatever, or just be like, good job, or just showing up. That's still
Showing up is so key.
Yeah.
We're gonna kind of wrap this up, but want to leave on this note. Ask you guys, what are, if you could give me even one, that'd be great. But if you could give me 3, that'd be cool. At least 2. Keys. Right. Give me 10. Nah. What are the keys to a good collaboration? We're gonna get everybody's take on that, and put the bow on it and get out of here. Concreteness.
Just basically what we was saying, like you being solid on what you can bring to the table and what your idea is.
I think I gotta go with that one. Like that's what I thought was the best one. Then after hearing these people talk, like I think that is you being solid and
And expressing.
Yeah.
Being real with yourself enough to where you can say what you want to say what you need to say, and not be afraid to do that.
Yeah. Clear communication, consistency,
Collaboration.
sandwiches. It's, we meeting together. We eat.
Right.
It's a pizza.
You know I love pizza. That's what we-
Confidence and solidness.
And I think
Yes.
the collaborating could be a lot of different things. So like, I agree with everything. And like what you were saying, like, it kills me like to toss around ideas and nothing come out of it. Like that's, I don't like it. But at the same time, like
It can
tossing around
spark something.
ideas does spark something. Like maybe I want to do this tomorrow. Like maybe I'm not dropping everything I'm doing. I'm picking this up and running with it. But maybe you plant a seed in the back of my head for something, and a year down the line, I'm like, this would be a good time to do this.
Yeah.
So I think, having conversations and like doing this, like socializing and mingling and still doing something, whether it be your avenue of art or talking to you guys on a regular or something like that. I mean, like
Yeah.
just staying present and making something happen, and then being able to execute. I think executing it is the most important.
And definitely holding one another accountable,
Mm-hmm.
with love, just be like, hey, checking in,
Yeah.
how's the
Keeping
pain
that
going,
friendship.
do you need help with this, that, and the third,
Making that-
Sometimes just having someone be like, oh, they thought about the idea. Oh, wow, you made it special. I mean, that means a lot. Just having someone check up on you.
So there's 3.
Yeah, maybe
Expression, friendship, consistency, and confidence. I think there's 4. Yes.
Alright, it was a whole bunch. I had like the whole
I know all the-
C's going, but I lost. It was like
It was
consistency,
commitment.
commitment, communication, concreteness, something. Camaraderie. All of these
Camaraderie.
things are very essential to collaboration.
Sandwiches spelled with a C.
And sandwiches spelled with a C. Guys, this has been the first edition of Aesthetics. I want to thank Ray Johnson. I want to thank Meta B. I want to thank Pearl Woods. And I want to thank Matt Wallace and Prince Inc. for having us. And shout out to Ceasoning Magazine.
And season new.
Yes, of course, Seasoning Mag. For our first Art Talk, Aesthetics. See you next time.
You probably gonna do the same topic and you're gonna have more ideas, like finding solid ways of strategy on how to work together. But I just like yeah, exactly. That's actually what I was saying, like taking people from what happened in the time frame, kind of give like that progress support of like the art movement kind of building, instead of like being here now and 3 years later.